Good morning and welcome to Rising. We've got another great show for you today. It is Wednesday, or so I'm told. The rumors are true. That is the day it is.
We're starting to get the days of the week down pat. We feel like cemented into the new year now. What do you think about my velvet get up?
Yeah, this could not go uncommented on much longer. No, it
You were
looks very
looking
nice.
down. I was like, what's
Like,
the
I just
deal?
noticed what you... It looks nice. It looks comfortable.
It is very
warm.
comfortable. It is very
Yeah,
comfortable.
I gotta get myself my own little velvet.
I want you to step up to the wardrobe. Maybe a velvet tie. That's what I'm looking for from you. Coming up on Rising, 6 federal prosecutors have quit, reportedly over the push from the Justice Department to investigate Renee Good's widow and her alleged ties to left-wing activist groups.
Plus, House Oversight Republicans are vowing to hold Bill and Hillary Clinton in contempt of Congress after the former president skipped out on testifying in an Epstein inquiry. The former First Lady is expected to do the same today.
And the U.S. government has reportedly obtained a device that may be tied to Havana syndrome, which is a series of ailments that more than 1,500 American officials say they've experienced.
I'm going to explain to Lindsay what that is.
Yeah, I want to.
You were not following that
and I'm going to
closely.
follow up as much as I
I
can.
was following closely.
But you're on top of it, and you pitched this story. But first, Robby, what else is on your radar?
All right, let's get to it. Now, it may be too late to save California from itself. That's the sad truth. And it's the fault of progressive interests, particularly labor unions in that state, that are obsessed with getting a wealth tax on the ballot that would confiscate 5% or more of the wealth of the state's billionaires. I say 5% or more because of the creative way this tax would be structured. It also hits at unrealized gains, which basically means that tech entrepreneurs might have to sell companies in which they hold stock but haven't made any real money off of yet. What other choice would they have if the state attempts to extract this tribute from them? It's sheer robbery. And also, the tax is backdated. It applies to fiscal year 2026, this one. That means if it makes it on the ballot and is voted into law next year, then everybody headquartered in California will suddenly have to pay it. Trust me, the tech folks are well aware, which is why they're already fleeing the state. Peter Thiel, Larry Page left for Florida. David Sachs opened and moved his business to Texas. Sergey Brin looking at Miami. Chamath Palihapitiya is eyeing Texas as well. In other words, the damage is already done. California's wealthiest and most successful entrepreneurs are leaving in droves, which is going to worsen the exact budgetary issues that prompted some Californians to foolishly pursue this policy in the first place. Who am I talking about? Well, labor unions are most responsible for pushing this. They say the state needs more money to pay for health care and for welfare. This just isn't going to go about it the right way. This has the obvious problem of chasing away the very people who would pay the tax. Just look at what happened in Norway, for instance. That was discussed recently on TVPN. Let's watch.
If you start confiscating wealth and taxing unrealized capital gains for people who aren't liquid, so actually we saw this in Norway. So Norway has an unrealized capital gains tax, and Norway's got a lot of extremely smart people, great entrepreneurs, but they all left. And when you talk to entrepreneurs in Norway, they're like, well, I literally can't pay the tax because the company got marked up to whatever, $1 billion, $2 billion, and I own a lot of it, and I can't get that money out. It's a private company, and so I'm stuck. So I have to leave the country. And there are no entrepreneurs. There is basically no tech entrepreneurs in Norway now.
Now, according to the New York Post, one poll found that a narrow majority of Californians supported the tax, but after they heard these and other arguments from both sides, their support for it actually dropped to just 41%. That's good, but the reality is it's already too late. California is committing economic suicide before our very eyes. The best we can hope for is that this tax gets voted down and then serves as a lesson to would-be plunderers elsewhere. So here's the problem, Lindsay. The way this tax is structured on unrealized gains. So let's say you started a company, and you know how these Silicon Valley tech companies go. You get a valuation, $1 billion, $2 billion. That's just on paper. That could shrink to nothing when you invented Uber for chicken farmers, and then someone else invents it. It goes to zero. But when this goes into effect, they'll say, oh, you own this asset that's been evaluated at $1 billion. You got to pay as if that's literally what it is. So you're going to have to sell your shares in it to cough up the money. So that's just going to kill these people, kill this industry, kill venture capitalism in California, which is why they're anticipating that. They're all leaving. They're going to Florida, to Texas, to Tennessee. Already, they're gone, because as soon as this goes into effect, it's going to say, if you were still in the country, or still in the state, the country of California, you're backdated. They're gone. This is economic suicide. It's going to reduce the tax revenue that they collect in this state out of this misguided notion that blue state can just fix all its problem by taxing the wealthy a little bit higher. You can tax them a little bit more, but taxing unrealized gains is lethal. And some Democrats used to understand that. Ro Khanna understood that. He made a brilliant argument against doing just that. I think he still is against that, but he's come around to supporting a version of the wealth tax. But
Well, I think that billionaires, it's going to be tough for some of these billionaires that we're referring to for their kids' kids probably to spend the money they have. So 5% of this incomes that we're talking about is not that dramatic.
Right.
And they should be charitable, and they should do more to help uplift the community that has helped make them billionaires. I don't think that should be mandated by the government, but yes, they should do more. That said, running these billionaires off, I think California has the most billionaires in one state in the country.
Not for much longer.
And so people are actively leaving. I was looking up the same things as you were looking up. A lot of people are gone and already preemptively saying, I don't care if this passes, I'm out of here. Something similar to this, they tried to pass in California in 2024 and it failed miserably. And so it's like, why do you keep bringing this up? The best way to make money might not be this. And also, Governor Gavin Newsom has a really uphill battle to climb if he thinks, even though he's been publicly saying, this is a terrible idea,
Yeah, he's against
if your
it.
state passes this and then you run for president, nobody cares. Because people are these are the same people that are funding campaigns. These are the same people that are propelling these candidates to rise up and speak on behalf of them.
This is economic
He knows
suicide.
that this is terrible
does not
for
want
him.
to do this.
And I don't think that anybody
Right, it's being
running for
forced on him
president
by this union.
Right, and I think that, now it's already where it is. They're voting on it. But again, if this is the second time it gets shot down, maybe the billionaires could start, as they continue to lobby for their companies, what effective policy would you like to see that you think is fair, but also won't completely deteriorate a lot of your income that's not even realized yet?
Sales tax.
So they're going to suggest, up the sales tax.
I'm a supporter of sales tax. If we're going to collect taxes, that's the fair one, because we all pay it. I don't like taxing income. We can have property tax to some degree, because property owners are, a lot of people bought their homes at a time when it was very cheap, and now, they got to pay some. That's okay. I want to lower everybody's tax burden, even if that means we provide fewer social services, particularly for the elderly.
We disagree on that. That's a ridiculous stance. You got to think about
It's a
the wider.
ridiculous stance?
Yes, you got to think about the wider community, grandma and grandpa. Just like they thought about us when we were little, changed our diapers and whatnot. It's time for you to give back in that way, the other way, pay it forward. You know how it goes, like usually you take care of your kid and then your kid ends up taking care of you. You're not doing your part of that equation. You're the kid that now grew up and needs to take care of your elders.
I don't think the living should be forced to serve the dead, is what I would put it that way. Coming up on Rising, House Republicans are threatening to hold both Bill and Hillary Clinton in contempt of Congress. We'll discuss that. Don't go anywhere.